Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The recent incidents on the Polish-Belarusian border seem to confirm the necessity for the state of emergency in this area. Yesterday, the border guards prevented as many as 438 attempts to cross the border illegally. The Minister of National Defence, Mariusz Błaszczak, said that military helicopters will soon patrol the border. The border guard gave information about further cases on the Polish-Belarusian border in which its intervention was necessary. A car with an Iraqi citizen was stopped. He was driving for illegal immigrants. This citizen refused to stop and later tried to attack our guards. There will be charges filed. Another event of this sort was the arrest of 2 Polish citizens. One of these men was transporting illegal immigrants, Iraqi males, and was under the influence of amphetamines. The other Pole was also in possession of banned substances. Charges have been filed in this case as well. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said that attempts to attract immigrants to the Polish-Belarusian border should lead to chaos in the European Union. Here it is very clear that a state of emergency was needed, that our protective measures are needed, that all these attempts to attract migrants from Iraq, Libya, Morocco, Egypt and several other countries are a mechanism that is supposed to lead to chaos in the European Union, to the migration crisis in the European Union.
Mechanizmem, który ma doprowadzić do chaosu w Unii Europejskiej, ma doprowadzić do kryzysu migracyjnego.
Yesterday a debate took place in the European Parliament, during which the subject of the resolution on Belarus was discussed. One of the provisions concerns the provision of access for the media and non-governmental organisations to the region covered by the state of emergency, and to cooperation with Frontex, signed by the 4 largest pro-democratic groups of the European Parliament, the European People's Party, the Social Democrats, the Liberals and the Greens. Opposed were members of the EKR faction, to which PiS belongs.
Dzisiaj nawet na tej debacie nie ma wysokiego przedstawiciela.
Today, even at this debate, the High Representative is not present. This shows to what stage, to what point we've reached in the fight against Lukashenko. There aren't any realistic sanctions. There is no common European strategy towards Belarus.
Nie ma dzisiaj strategii Unii Europejskiej wobec Białorusi.
Unia Europejska musi podjąć także kroki prawne.
The EU must also take legal measures since Lukashenko is the chief of a mafia-like criminal organisation smuggling human beings. He is breaking European law. He is terrorising his nation. We must take legal measures. On Monday, in Nuremberg, there will be a conference of legal experts who are preparing a project to put Lukashenko in front of the International Criminal Court. We are dealing with something that the Moroccan Minister of the Internal Affairs once accurately labelled a migration invasion. That's why it is with sadness that I must note the unwise and irresponsible, the childish and probably ill-willed way that you are disavowing the actions of the Polish border guard. Many representatives of the Belarusian opposition, including Svetlana Tsikhanouska, believe that Poland has chosen the right strategy in view of the situation on the border with Belarus. All these people on the border are arriving there with functionaries of the KGB. The migrants are being followed. I imagine that the Polish guards are experienced enough that they are doing what they can and know that their reaction to this blackmail cannot be to let these people in. It is Lukashenko who is responsible for the fact that the destiny of these people is this or that. Last weekend alone, the border guard prevented nearly 400 attempts to cross the Polish-Belarusian border illegally. That is more than during the entire previous calendar year. The European Union heads of state met yesterday at an informal summit in Slovenia, which holds the 6-month presidency of the Council of the European Union. The agenda includes, among others, strategic autonomy and the so-called EU strategic compass, the situation in Afghanistan, the AUKUS pact and relations with China. And today, the EU-Western Balkans summit was held, devoted entirely to the enlargement of the European Union. The European Union leaders have provided another promise of membership for Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina and Montenegro, North Macedonia, Kosovo and Albania. Many observers, especially those in the Balkans, believe that the declaration is yet another empty document, because the European Union confirms only support for the European perspective of the Western Balkan nations and underlines that it lies in their common strategic interests, but it can only occur on honest and rigorous terms. Meanwhile, the countries of the rich north, such as Denmark, France and Belgium, fear a repeat of the hasty accession of countries like Romania or Bulgaria in 2007, as well as poorly managed migration of workers to the west, such as in Great Britain. Bulgaria, on the other hand, opposes the accession of North Macedonia because of a linguistic and cultural dispute over their common history. Taiwan is facing enormous pressure from the Beijing authorities. Since the 1st of October, the 72nd anniversary of the establishment of the Republic of China, 148 Chinese Air Force aircraft have breached Taiwan's airspace. According to the government in Taipei, it is a provocation and a harbinger of war. The Taiwanese authorities describe China's military actions as a serious threat to peace in the region. The Taiwan foreign minister said that this was a preview of China's imminent attack on the island and that his country must get ready for war. The Prime Minister of Taiwan, in turn, appealed to the international community for support. Taiwan definitely needs to be on the alert. China is growing stronger and stronger. The whole world is witnessing repeated instances of China violating peace in the region and putting pressure on Taiwan. We must unite and become stronger. Only then do the countries that want to annex Taiwan not dare to use force so easily. As the Minister of Defense of Taiwan announced, China will be able to invade the island by 2025. If China wants to attack Taiwan, it is now able to do so. However, we still need to watch how this case turns out. We do not incite any provocation, but if we feel provoked, we will show our options. Joe Biden, when asked by journalists about the United States' attitude to China's actions towards Taiwan, said that the White House had agreed with the government in Beijing on a common position to the benefit of Taiwan.
I've spoken with Xi about Taiwan. We agree we'll abide by the Taiwan agreement. That's where we are, and we made it clear that I don't think he should be doing anything other than abiding by the agreement.
The American president mentions an agreement, but it is not known exactly what agreement it is. It is also unclear what conversation Joe Biden had in mind between the presidents, as the White House had not previously reported any contact with President Xi Jinping. Meanwhile, the Japanese authorities have referred to the matter. The government in Tokyo is counting on the parties to be able to resolve the problem peacefully. The conflict between China and Taiwan also affects the geopolitical situation around Japan. I hope that the matter between Taiwan and the parties involved will be resolved peacefully through face-to-face talks. We continue to monitor developments closely. Taiwanese disagree about the tension between China and Taiwan. Skeptics say it is an exaggeration to call recent actions a harbinger of war. Others argue that a military attack is only a matter of time. It seems unreal that any kind of war could break out. I think China will soon start interfering with our country economically, for example, or to act to our disadvantage through other international treaties aimed at weakening Taiwan. But I don't think there's going to be a war. I'm worried that a war might break out, but my friends don't care. China has wanted to take these measures for a long time. I think the Taiwan issue is part of the rivalry between China and the United States, the two superpowers. They treat us as a bargaining chip. I believe that these kinds of incidents will repeat themselves. China claims Taiwan as its territory and believes it should be seized by force if necessary. Taiwan in turn considers itself an independent country and declares that it will defend its independence and democracy, rejecting the rhetoric of the Beijing authorities. German Benjamin List and Scots-born David Macmillan have won the 2021 Nobel Prize for Chemistry for developing new tools for building molecules that can help make new drugs more cheaply and in a more environmentally friendly way.
I thought somebody's making a joke with me. I was sitting at breakfast with my wife, and sometimes she says, "Did you look at your phone if somebody called from Sweden?" But today we didn't even make the joke, and we certainly didn't anticipate this, right? And then Sweden appears on my phone, and I look at her, she looks at me, and I run out of the coffee, and indeed, that was the amazing call. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to describe what you feel in that moment, but it was a very special moment that I will never forget.
They share the 10 million Swedish krona prize for their separate work on asymmetric organocatalysis, which the award-giving body said was a new and ingenious tool for molecule building.
So the prize in chemistry this year is for the development of a method to make molecules, to synthesize molecules. Benjamin List and David Macmillan, the two prize winners, have discovered a method to make molecules cheaper, simpler, and more environmentally friendly. And specifically, this is about developing what's called a catalyst. A catalyst is a method to accelerate a chemical reaction, so you can make it faster and you can make it go more directed to the molecule you actually want.
Catalysts are molecules that remain stable while enabling or speeding up chemical reactions performed in laboratories or large industrial reactors. Prior to the laureate's breakthrough findings at the turn of the millennium, only certain metals and complex enzymes were known to work in this way. The Academy said that the new generation of catalysts were both more environmentally friendly and cheaper to produce, and have been the key to making new substances such as pharmaceuticals, plastics, perfumes and flavours.
They developed a method of figuring out ahead of time which molecule would I need to catalyze which reaction. And that simply means you can now make molecules you weren't able to make before, or you can make the same molecules faster and cheaper. And in terms of applications, it's pretty much anywhere where you use chemistry, but drug development, drug production is a very important one, but also for many other types of molecules, for making faster running shoes, or for making molecules that capture light to convert solar energy into some chemical form of energy. Many different applications.
List of the Max Planck Institute for Coal Research in Mülheim an der Ruhr, Germany, and Macmillan of Princeton University in the United States share the prize in equal parts for breakthroughs achieved independently of one another. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.